Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I haven't put a video on in a little while. I apologize. I've just been really busy and haven't really got around to doing anything. I'm doing a little project. I got the Ventrac KY400 trencher, and I've used this trencher before. I've done a video on it when I installed the electric line, the trench, to run it back here to the shop. I'm going to do things a little bit different today. The front yard, if anyone's followed the channel, I always have standing water in the front yard. I've been dealing with this for years, so I'm finally trying to alleviate some of that. I'm going to put in 3 small long catch basins, and then I'm just going to run some perforated tile and connect them all in there, just in the other lower spots, just to help alleviate some of the water. So the catch basins are going to pull all the water from where it stands after hard rains, and then hopefully these perforated tiles bring it into there. This trencher is going to work perfect for this application. It trenches a width of just over 5 inches, and the pipe's about 4 3/4 from the outside diameter. So I already did some testing with it, and the 4-inch drain tile fits in there real smooth. 3 attachments I'm going to be using for this video. I'm going to use the trencher, of course, to dig the trench, put the pipe in. I'm going to be utilizing the power bucket a lot, hauling stone back and forth, and then I'm going to be using the blade also to push all the dirt back into the trench. Now, I did remove the duals for this application, and the reason is it's so dry out, there's really no reason to have them on. I figured it's just going to get in the way, and with hauling all the stone with the power bucket, I got almost 40 ton of stone to move between everywhere, and it's just a lot of stress on the front axles when it's not needed. It's so dry. So I did remove the grapple and the teeth from the bucket as well. That took less than 10 minutes, was real easy. And there again, I just didn't think it was really needed, so all the extra weight for the bucket, I just figured I'd remove it. So let me grab the camera. I'll go show you a little bit of what I'm doing, and then I'll show you this thing in action. All right, I'll go ahead and show you what I'm doing here. I apologize, this wind tonight, it's really breezy, and I know it's gonna hit the microphone, but I'm planning on going way out near the road. I'm going to run one trench from out there where I know it stays wet, another one next to the driveway there, and then I got these, they're a tough tight water catch basin or junction box. There's 4 holes. I'm going to utilize 3 out of the 4. The other one's a little taller, but I got some lines painted out, and I'm just going to run some lines here with the trencher and connect them into this catch basin here, because this is always a low spot where I got standing water. Over here I got another one. This was anyone that's watched previous videos in the winter time, plowing snow, this was another bad area. I always have standing water right here, because when we put the driveway in, when we built the house, it sort of raised it up. So I'm going to run all these corrugated tiles to drain into here. Now unfortunately I'm not going to be able to trench through the driveway. It probably would do it, but I don't want a chance hurting nothing. So a friend of mine, he has a mini excavator. He's going to come out in a couple days. We're going to dig through the driveway, and then I'm going to continue to trench over here. And there's a 6-inch field tile that runs through this property. I'm going to dump it into that. So, and then next year I can always continue on way to the back to the swale off of that catch basin if I want to. If for some reason it wouldn't drain through that 6-inch tile, which I've already repaired that, I know that flows. So I'm just going to trench some trenches, ideally 15 inches deep is what I want to go, 15, 16-ish, and then I'm going to add about 1 inch or 2 of stone to the bottom of the trench, lay my pipe, a few more inches of stone. I'm going to top it with some straw and then backfill it with the dirt. That's just what farmers and stuff around me told me that's how they used to do it. The straw helps keep the dirt from getting into your stone until it gets packed, and then it'll rot away. I'm no professional here on drainage, so I'm sure I'm going to hear comments I did something wrong. I'm just doing from what people have told me, and this should work. I mean, the water is going to take the least path of resistance, which is going to be soaking into here. Once I get these basins in here in these low spots, that corrugated tile is just going to help alleviate any of the other spots that I can't. So I've explained a little bit of what I'm doing, talked a little too much. I don't want to make this video too long. Let's see this trencher here in action. All right, I got all the trenches dug. It looks like one of the mazes that you get on the back of a menu where you try to figure out which way you go and then there's a dead end, but I assure you it'll all drain over to there if it goes to plan. Now I do have one little low spot there, but I adjusted the trencher to where everywhere else I was trenching down around the 15-inch mark, but when I got in them low areas I bumped it up to like 11, 10. That way I'm gonna try to slope that enough to where the pipe doesn't dip down in that dip. But I did have to go back through here with a small little shovel. The crumb scraper got pulled up on the trencher, I don't know how, but it left a little more crumbs in there than I wanted. But as of this draining, I'm not 100% sure how it's going to work, but I can tell you that the Ventrac trencher is an amazing attachment, that the thing just works great. Does a really nice job, and it's going to make putting this tile in even easier. So now I got to go throw the bucket on, which will only take a second. Take the trencher off, put the bucket on, and I'm going to start putting stone in here so I can get a good level, and then I'll start throwing the pipe in and backfilling with some more stone. So I'm going to go grab the tractor and keep moving here.
Alright, in this first clip you can see here, the first attempt I did was I loaded up a bucket of stone in the power bucket, and I drove over to the trench and I was trying to dump just a little bit of stone in the trench, going down it, backing up, going forward, back and forth, just to sort of place the stone in there. Now this idea in theory, I thought it was going to work better than what it did. The problem is it's hard to judge how much stone you're actually putting in the small trench when dumping the stone out of the bucket. So I used one bucket and did this, and then I realized after doing this that I had to take a small shovel and spread all that stone out in the trench like you can see here. So it was actually more of a pain because I only wanted like an inch or more of stone in the bottom of the trench. So to keep it level, it just really wasn't working out as like I'd hoped it would. So I went and did something a little different. It was a little more manual labor, but it was just easy for me to load the stone into a metal bucket, and I would just walk along the trenches and pour the stone in. And even though it looks like it was a lot harder, this application of doing it this way was a lot easier. I got more better uniform coverage, and the job just went a lot faster.
All right, so I got my distribution boxes in. Well, 2 of the 3. I got one more to do yet here this morning, and I got all my tile in. It's all dug down in there, so all the tiles laid. It does look sort of weird how I did this like a checkerboard pattern, but I wanted to make sure my original run was going to be one straight run with a bunch of runs going into it. But there's so many wet areas here, I figured if I'm doing this more tile the better, it'll all drain. So now I just have to go ahead and cover the pipe with some stone, and then I'll just put some straw on it and then backfill all this dirt, and hopefully it'll be good to go. All right, like I said, I didn't trench through the driveway, and that was probably a good thing that I didn't. I'm not sure if the trencher is really designed for that. I was afraid of hitting some of these 1s and 2s, but a friend of mine that has a mini excavator came over and we dug this out, and this driveway was deeper than I remember it. We went down 18-20 inches. We never hit dirt, so we were still pulling gravel out of here. So when this driveway went in, it's just because it was so wet around here, I wanted to make sure we had a good base, that trenching through this probably wouldn't have been easy. So we dug down, then I put a layer of 9s down, and then I topped it with some screenings, and 411's really good, and then we put the regular gravel back on top of it. So this should pack in here real good, and I don't think I'll have any issues. All right, my plan is to put another distribution box or catch basin over there, and the reason is it's going to drain out here, and it's going to go in right here. This is the existing 6-inch tile that runs through here. I couldn't remember because I rerouted this tile when we built the house. As you can see, I was off on the location of it. but we had the little excavator here and I kept digging. I swore it was up there, but you know, you get older, your memory. I should have, you know, drew a map, or I had pictures on my old cell phone, but that thing's long gone. So anyway, we located the tile. I put the T in. We took another piece of 6-inch and just capped on the top to try to help keep as much dirt out of them fittings. So the tile's going to come dump into here, but if for some reason this wouldn't drain, I'll have that catch basin over there, that distribution box, and I can come right off of that. And if I need to, I can run another tile all the way to the back of the property and dump it. So this is the plan. I'm going to go ahead and keep busy here. I'll show a couple more videos of the Ventrac doing some projects. Let's get started.
Now when it came to pushing all the dirt back into the trench, I found using the blade just works a lot easier for this application rather than the power bucket. I like using the power bucket for grading, but for pushing dirt in a trench like this, the blade just makes it a lot easier. Now the last video I did when I used the trencher for putting the power back to the shop, I did it this method that I'm doing here, and I had some comments asking why I didn't angle the blade. Well, I tried to angle the blade to try that again on this project, and what happens is when you angle the blade, the front tip of the furthest point of the blade will a lot of times dig into the sod. So that's the problem I was running into here. I was actually doing more turf damage by angling it. So it was just easier for me to use the blade straight like I am. And with the 72-inch blade, it didn't really take that long. It made quick work of this project. So that's why I did it like that. It got a real nice cut down on the grass. Most of the dirt went right in the trench. And like I said, it didn't really cause much turf damage while doing it this way. Another advantage of the blade is pushing large piles of dirt like this. These were some test areas we dug with the excavator when I was trying to locate the pipe. So instead of using the power bucket, like I said, I'm not really trying to lift material, I'm trying just to push it. This 72-inch blade makes quick work of any project, as you can see here.
Alright, so it's the next morning. I was working pretty late last night, but I got all this dirt pushed back pretty nicely. I got to just mound it over top the trenches right now. It's supposed to rain tonight. I'm going to let it rain on this a little bit this week, and then next week I'm going to go ahead and put the bucket on, and I'll scoop up the excess dirt and haul it out, and then I'll just smooth all this out and seed it.
Alright, so I switched back to the power bucket, and all I'm trying to do is when I did this project, it did rain on it twice since I mounted all this dirt up on here with the blade. But trying to mow around all this after we got that rain, as you can see in the background, the grass is growing pretty good and it's getting tall in there, and I really couldn't get to all of it. So I decided what would be best is to put the bucket on, just go ahead, I'm going to shave off all this excess dirt. And I'm just relocating another pile close by, and I'm going to let it rain on this again, and then once the trench sinks in a little bit, I'll just add a little more dirt with the bucket and back grade it, and then go right ahead and seed it. So I'm just moving the material. Like I said, over here I'm just dumping all this excess dirt into a pile, which is close to my location where I'm doing this project, and this will be here for a little bit later of a use. Now this is where I like using the power bucket for grading. When it comes to pushing, the blade works great, but I like being able to move material by using the bucket, and then also back dragging with the bucket. You can adjust the pitch of the bucket, as you can see here, and you can smooth the dirt out, and it just works a little bit better for final grading than I would say like the blade.
All right, there's the Ventrac trencher, using it for my application of putting drain tile in. Great attachment, guys. The thing works wonderful. One of many Ventrac attachments that are available for this machine. Just having the option of versatility, being able to change and unhook from the trencher to my power bucket and the blade in under a minute, that's where this machine is unmatched like anything else. Just the versatility of these Ventracs, being able to switch from multiple attachments, it just makes it nice. I mean, everything, the whole job goes easier when you can switch back and forth quickly and efficiently. And the attachments don't take up a whole lot of room. So if you are like someone that owns a business and you go to do a job like that, you can easily fit your blade, bucket, trencher, and tractor on a decent sized trailer and go to the job site. Now, as of the 4500Y, the diesel using the trencher, I had posted a video before. I did get a chance to use a 4500Z when I trenched the electric from the house back to the garage. Now, using the trencher with this, I was running it usually right around 3200 RPM, and I was just taking my time. It was cutting through it pretty well. Really hard clay ground I have here, and a lot of the spots were really dry. I didn't find really any power issues with the 4500Y. I didn't find the diesel underpowered for this application at all. You'll see in the short video clips I did, I was blowing some black smoke out of the engine at times. Running it at 32, sometimes it hit about the 2800 mark RPMs, but that's where a diesel is different than a gas. It's puffing some smoke and I'd lose the RPMs, but I wasn't losing any productivity. The engine would bog down a little bit, but it still just kept cutting, and it didn't really affect speed or anything like that. I'd just slow up real quick, the RPMs would come back, and it was right back to normal. That's where diesels are efficient, when that high torque, when you start to lug them. I wasn't afraid of stalling this or anything, so there again, I'm still not finding the 4500Y under power, even in the trenching application. So I got more video tests to do with that, of the power of the diesel. Then I'll try to get done here hopefully by fall. I got a few more tests I want to do. Other than that, using the trencher was nice. I have natural drainage fall from the road. That was already lasered years ago back to my first catch basin. And then I just adjusted the depth of the trencher as I went to try to give myself enough fall for all the water to run in the drain tile. I know I'm going to get some criticism on the stone that I used and probably how I did this project. I understand that. It's probably not how a lot of people would have done it. I will be sure to do a follow-up video here this fall once we get some rain and a wet area, or even in the spring, and let you guys know how it worked and if my water situation's resolved or not. So like I said, I'm going to try to do some more 4500Y diesel test videos for this to show you guys power options, that kind of stuff. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, thanks for watching.